Uh,
Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club, what time is your dinner?
Probably about 6:30, just to make
6:30.
sure. Yeah.
This week we watched the
Oh,
1976.
Jet Blue.
This week we watched the 1976 Best Picture Oscar winner, The Sting, which is number 96 on the Franken list. Thanks, Joel. I am Frank Gaffney. With us is Joel Gondorf. Get it?
No.
If you watched the movie. Andy King, who comes to us from Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha.
Goldfoot and no Cringer.
No Crenshaw.
And Mark G, who doesn't have a picture up, but he's landing a plane right now.
Yes, and I was very rushed to get on this this call.
Oh, but you wouldn't put a picture up?
I was gonna, yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay, great. We'll
Yeah.
do it while I'm talking. Nobody cares what I have.
That's true.
Nor
The
what you're doing.
Basic plot. Following the murder of a mutual friend, aspiring con man Johnny Hooker, played by Robert Redford, teams up with old pro Henry Joel Gondorf, Paul Newman, to take revenge on a ruthless crime boss responsible, Doyle Lonigan, who's played by Robert Shaw. This movie is great fun and funny from beginning to end. There's no greater joy than watching two movie stars just having a ball and loving what they're doing, turning on the charm. And Redford and Newman are so much fun to watch in this movie. And it's a terrific, really terrific story. Very much feels like a 1930s kind of movie. And so the two movie icons are the ones who are doing the big con on Robert Shaw. And part of the fun really is just how elaborate the schemes can be. There's so many twists and turns that you don't even realize you're the one about to be conned. It's so fun. The entire movie is an extended series of sidelong glances and winks and nods.
Yeah.
And it's also steeped in nostalgia because the setting is the 30s, but like I said, the style as well. And it has retro touches. Like every section of the movie has a Norman Rockwell looking storybook kind of painting, and all the shadowy entrances and the alleyways like a film noir. And Robert Redford and Paul Newman worked together before in 1969.
What the hell?
Sorry, I just wanted to gargle to see if it would get picked up. It did. My apologies, Frank. Please continue.
We should just start over.
Why are you gargling?
Because I have this ridiculous thing on, so no one could ever hear me. Now you can hear me too well.
Okay.
Next week we're watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Newman Redford had a big hit in 1969 with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That was also directed by George Roy Hill, who directed this as well. And that's a great movie too, but this one really tops that one for me. And it really is Robert Redford's movie. This was his only Oscar nomination, and he really should have won because this same year he was also in The Way We Were, and he gave a great performance in both of these movies. And he lost to Jack Lemmon in Save the Tiger. Save the what now? Where? I know, exactly. And interestingly, Marvin Hamlish was involved in both The Sting and The Way We Were, and he won an Oscar for adapting Scott Joplin's music for The Sting, and he won an Oscar for writing The Way We Were.
Quite the prolific, not the prolific, I don't mean that. But
he had a good year. And his version of The Entertainer by Scott Joplin actually went to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a hit song, and the album went to number 1.
What are the lyrics?
People read. Anthony actually knows the lyrics. Like he sings it every time it comes on.
Okay.
What was I saying? Okay, so right, The Entertainer. And then so The Sting won 7 Oscars in total: Best Picture, Director, Original Screenplay. Wow. Edith Head won her 8th Oscar as a costume designer. And won film editing and art direction. It was a huge box office hit. It earned enough money to make it the number 20 highest grossing film in the US of all time, adjusting for inflation, of course.
Hmm.
Anyway, it is, like I said, it's Redford's movie because we don't even see Paul Newman until it's 25 minutes into the movie. And Paul Newman is adorable too. But I recently watched the documentary on HBO. Joel, did you watch it?
About Paul
On
Newman?
Paul and Joan Woodward?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
And it's really a fascinating one. And everyone agreed that Paul Newman was a highly functioning alcoholic. And here
Really?
he is, yes. And here he is, pretty alcoholic.
While he was filming this, because he was so
While he
scrawny.
was filming every single movie.
Wow.
And so he married Joanne Woodward in the 50s, and they actually almost divorced because she was like, you have to stop. And so he decided he would stop drinking hard liquor, but he would still get drunk every single night. Sound familiar?
But
Anybody?
isn't that balanced out by creating a charity that, you know, makes popcorn and
Yes, you
salad
know, and
dressing?
obviously he showed up to work every day,
Yeah.
and that routine of putting his face in the ice water, he actually did that every day because it got rid of the puffiness from being an alcoholic. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, I digress. And Robert Shaw is just perfect. He really is.
He was also a
And-
functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't know how well he functioned
he?
at times.
He didn't quite function as well as Paul.
Yeah.
But I read that his limp was real because he actually had hurt his foot.
Yeah, he had hurt his leg.
Yeah,
And
right
he
before
decided
film.
to incorporate it into the character rather than. And there are so many great character actors: Charles
Yeah.
Durning, Ray Walston, Eileen Brennan, Harold Gould, and the guy who dies, Luther Coleman, is played by Robert Earl Jones, who is James Earl Jones's father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And James Earl Jones's very first movie is the other one I watched last night.
Wow.
Which was Dr. Strangelove, for those of you who weren't in the pre-conversation. Okay, so
Just we refer to him as his son as James Earl Jones, but if you read his name, his father's name in the credits, it's Robert Earl. It's like
Robert Earl, one word.
One
That's
word.
Robert Earl, one word. One scene, Rob Redford orders the blue plate special, and the waitress rings up the register, $9.70. What kind of blue plate
No
special?
way.
No, that's not.
No way.
No.
At 9 cents and 70 cents.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was $9.
There was a little dot there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Frank,
Oh,
you're the oldest of us. You were alive when they had cash registers like that.
we had one of those at the bagel
The
store.
bagel store, sure.
We did. You had to go like this to put $3.90.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so 97 cents. Okay, then that was a deal. And how great are Redford and Newman at this when you know that their character is lying and you can see that the actor is lying. I'm like, that's just some beautiful acting right there, because the layers of them saying a lie to somebody and you know they're lying is so beautifully played. Did anybody notice those, or am I just alone on this?
I would probably need to rewatch. Nothing
Yeah.
stood out to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if it was your first time watching, then you wouldn't maybe necessarily know they were lying. But
Yeah.
but it's such a beautiful, both of them do it very well. And I remember the very first time I watched it, not even knowing what the hell, when Robert Redford was getting ready at the end of the movie, and he put something in his mouth and he's chewing on it. And I'm like, what the hell is he having? A vitamin? What is that?
Yeah.
And I did not know that it was a blood capsule. So when it happened, I thought he really got shot. I'm like, oh my God, this is how the movie is going to end. This poor guy.
I actually thought I was like, oh, this is a good nod to Sundance, to Butch Cassidy. They both go out dying.
Right.
But then I was like, it seemed too fake, but
Yeah.
and it was,
and
obviously.
then how brilliant when he looks up. So it's definitely a 4-star movie for me. I've seen it several times. I was smiling. Even this time I was smiling the entire time. Such a fun movie. There was a sequel in 1983 called The Sting 2. Joel, did you watch it?
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Okay, go on.
You want me to talk about the sequel now as opposed to the
Yes, talk about The Sting 2.
How many stars?
I said
Well,
4 stars for me.
There was
Oh,
5
Sting 2.
stars. There are 5 stars in the Sting 2. They're
No,
all
there's
terrible.
not. It
They're
depends
all-
on your definition of what a star is.
All right, that's true. Mac Davis probably not,
Maybe
but
not.
you got Jackie Gleason, you've
Star.
got Oliver Reed, you've got Carl
Star.
Malden and Terry Garr. So
Star.
it's they were
Yeah.
star-ish. It is it is a sequel to the original film
In what way?
because the director claims that it's more inspired by the first film and not
Yeah.
a direct sequel. Except the
Yeah.
problem is that Oliver Reed is playing Doyle Lonigan instead of Robert Shaw. He's referred to as Doyle Lonigan. They talk about the fact that 6 years ago he got screwed out of money by Gondorf and Hooker, but Gondorf and Hooker have new first names. Jackie Gleason is playing Fargo Gondorf.
What name?
And Mac Davis is playing Jake Hooker. But
so they're related somehow?
No, they're playing the same characters. The director's just being a dick when he says shit like that. It's like, well, and it's the same screenwriter, so it's not like,
David Ward, yeah.
There were issues there. Well, I mean, aside from the fact that it's really just a horrible retread of the first film. The whole film starts off with Lonigan getting revenge on everybody who screwed him out of money in the first film.
That's Ocean's 10 as well.
Yes. So he yeah, it's just it's a 2-star movie at best. For me, there's a nostalgia factor. I saw it when it came out. I was like 12 maybe, and
Did you see it at the Avon movie theater? Amy used to love to go there.
No, I saw it in Florida with my grandfather. And as a 12-year-old, oh, this is a goofy, stupid movie, fun, yay. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I'd seen it after that because it was a staple on some cable station for a while, and it'd be like, oh, this thing fun again. Why the fuck am I watching this? And I'm gonna have to watch it one more time because the Blu-ray actually has a commentary from the director, and I want to know what he really has to say about the film.
And who directed it? Obviously not George Roy Hill.
No, I don't remember the guy's name, but the film he directed right before The Sting 2 was The Chosen, with about the Orthodox Jews with Robbie Benson. Yeah. And that's actually a good movie. So I don't know where the hell he went wrong, but he did. He also directed Big Man on Campus in 1989, if anybody remembers that bastardization of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
So he was big in The Hunch.
Yes. It's Jackie Gleason and Mac Davis come nowhere close to Redford and Newman in the sequel. Terry Garr actually has some funny moments. She's not really playing any analogous role to anything going on. Although, spoiler alert, we do find out at the end that she is Jackie Gleason's daughter, and is in love with she and Mac Davis up at the end.
Sure. All right, let's go back to The Sting, Joel.
Really?
What did you
It was directed by Jeremy Kagan.
Oh, sure. The Jeremy Kagan.
Yeah.
AKA Jeremy Paul Kagan.
Okay. So, Joel, what about The Sting, though? You loved it.
I've seen this thing more times than I can count at this point. It's a 4-star movie. I've got nothing to add that you haven't already said or that the others won't say. It's a wonderful film. It's a lot of fun. Even though I've seen it a bunch of times, I still feel like.
And did you watch it again this time, or you just watched?
No, we watched.
Yeah, he watched it with Jordan.
I watched it with Jordan because The Sting was coming up on our thing, and so.
Oh right, you asked us to move it here.
Yeah.
So Jordan and I actually watched Cool Hand Luke, The Sting, and then The Sting 2. So, and then I watched Dune, and then this morning Dune 2. Anyway. So it's been a long weekend. My head hurts.
A long movie weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Annie King, had you seen it before?
I never saw it from the beginning. I've seen bits, parts of it, and I've always seen like the ending. So when it comes on, I always watch it. It's a fun movie. So it was fun to see the beginning and where it all started. So that that was nice. I love that whole switch in the beginning where he puts it down his pants and switches
Right.
it, and I was like, what just happened? When did he do that? You know?
Oh my gosh. When he puts it down his pants, and the one he gives him back is noticeably bigger than the one he had in his pants.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, whose pick was this one? Oh, good. Yeah. So I guess
She
you've
wants to
seen,
know who to blame.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm glad I caught the beginning of it. I always love how many different ways it goes. Like, I love that whole painting the office scene when he
Yeah.
goes out the back door and he talks on the intercom, and they're like sitting out there like, what's going on?
So clever. So clever.
Yeah. So yeah, I love how they set it all up, and you know, it's a fun movie to watch. So for me, yeah, 4 stars, and I'm glad I saw it from the beginning finally.
Wow.
Captain Mark.
Coming in for a landing.
Is that what you say to Danielle?
Yeah, exactly. Move over there. Well, I'm going to give you a spoiler up front. It is not 4 stars for me. However, despite this being dated, and not only is it older, a little bit older, but it's playing in the 30s. It's, you know, something that's not my go-to movie. It was a fun caper, and I enjoyed it. I really like that song, The Entertainer. I never knew the name of that. Every time that's on, it gets in my head on a loop, and it's fun. I didn't know it really does have words, lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
I'm gonna
It
look that up.
does.
I'm gonna look this up.
It actually does.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Anthony sings them every time it comes on.
You sure it's not
Okay.
the Billy Joel version?
Yeah, exactly. I am the entertainer. Anyway, I was liking it from the start, but imagine my surprise when the strip club showed up. I wasn't expecting that. You follow. I love that line. It was a great line, and Robert Shore was just great. It was a great line for him. And Joel, did Paul Newman do the nose finger thing in Hudsucker Proxy?
Yes, he does do it once or twice.
I feel like I saw that before, so that was a good nod there. I definitely had a Dirty Rotten Scoundrels vibe to it for me. Obviously, that came afterwards, but for me, I've seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels 10 times, so this I liked it. And I was amazed at how much Brad Pitt looks like Robert Redford in some scenes. They looked like, if you go back to seeing, especially in A River Runs Through It, which Robert Redford directed and casted relatively unknown Brad Pitt, the clothing that he wore, he was also kind of a scoundrel, whatever you want to call it. I swear to God, he dressed him up to make him look just like he looked in the 70s. Joel?
Just a quick interruption. There are no lyrics to the original version. Milton Berle made up lyrics in the 70s
Yeah, I was gonna say
to
maybe
know.
somebody wrote them.
on the Muppets.
As
makes
soon as we're over, I'm gonna have Anthony come over and sing them for you.
I
Sounds
used
good.
to have
Telling
the
you that-
sheet music, and there were no lyrics.
Scott Joplin wrote
Well,
Ragtime.
not the original. Yes, not the original, of course. Okay.
Well, that's what we
continue.
think you mean is the original.
Yes.
But there are words to that. They were written words to that song. Go on.
Not by Scott
Okay.
Joplin. Anyway.
So Al Yankovic wrote them. I don't know.
Can I go on?
Yes, please.
I'm such an accounting dork. All I could think when Robert Redford immediately lost his $3,000 at roulette after his score was how much he would have made if he had simply invested it properly. I literally was like bothering me for like the next 20 minutes. A couple mutual funds, some stocks, bonds. And that $3,000 was over $66,000 today. So about 22 times is where we are right now with your cash value in 1936. It's 3.5 stars for me, which is, you know, if I watch this a few more times, it might get closer to 4. But at the first viewing, I probably missed a few things and so forth. I really did not. I was thinking going in that, especially after last week's All the President's Men. I didn't like that one too much, and I was like, oh God, am I going to also hate this one? So I was pleasantly surprised, and it actually makes me want to rewatch Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, which I have seen before, and I remember liking it, but it has been easily 20 to 25 years since I've seen that one.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
streaming for free anywhere. I could tell you that right now.
I will go to my local library.
I'm gonna have to too because
Thank
I
you.
wanted to watch
Thank
it
you very much.
yesterday.
The Robert Redford, yeah, 2 Robert Redfords in a row for us.
Yeah. And
Could be 3 for me.
there was something else that was overlapped that I can't remember now. Anyway, sorry, I got nothing.
Well, you better have something because it's you now, and this was your choice. Now, had you seen it before?
No, and that's why it was
No.
my choice. Like
Oh.
Annie's, well, The President's Men. This has been on my list my whole life. One of those movies everybody knows and most people love. How have I always gone? Yeah, I don't feel like watching this thing. So I'm glad we watched it. I really enjoyed it. And being a sophisticated and mature child, I have been playing and listening to Scott Joplin since I was a kid, thanks to my father and my aunt. Maybe because of this movie, but we would swim in her pool and they would play Scott Joplin over the speakers. My whole life was the entertainer and the make-believe friend. So it was so much fun hearing the whole.
No, I actually remember you playing it, right?
I would always play both of them, and Annie too.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. I could still remember da, 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 you know. Yeah. Maple Leaf Rag was my jam. I really loved them all. I really loved Robert Shaw. I hated his accent. I loved him. And Frank, when you were mentioning how great our 2 boys were, I wanted you to include him as well. I loved him. I was very surprised throughout. I didn't catch on to anything as, you know, I was duped. I was swindled throughout the entire movie with the money, with it, just everything, all the way to the end with them both getting shot. I went, and with the woman
Yes,
being.
but Amy, really, to be fair, most movies do that to you.
There are many times where I go, oh, we saw that coming. Come on.
And
I
Amy,
No, right?
Amy,
Yeah, that big reveal where he kills that girl, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
what's funny to me, Amy, though, is that you hear me say every week that I'm confused. I need it to be explained to me more and more. And for whatever reason, for this movie specifically, it was the opposite. I knew right away where like Andy said, when he put the money down his pants, I was he's going to switch it now. I knew that they weren't really dead. I was like, I for some reason, it clicked with me, and that's probably why I'm giving it 3.5 stars, because I know what you're saying. That's how I feel most movies. Like you're saying now, I didn't get it. I was swift. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's the Sting 2 all the way through.
God.
You see the ending coming at the beginning, pretty much. So
Come on, you did not expect Celino and Barnes to be the woman, though. That was incredible.
no, that was cool. Yeah.
That was so cool. And I did end up watching it again today. I put it on exactly at the 1 hour moment, and that's exactly when Paul Newman comes into the train car to tell Robert Redford, okay, now it's your turn. And then I watched the whole thing just to see what I could pick up this time, because I did some reading last night and people were complaining about a big plot hole being how much Robert Redford went along with the fake FBI guy. And everybody's like, but that's because the police officer was right there. So of course he had to act it. So Frank, to your point, to me, it didn't see, and I know exactly what you're saying about seeing it behind the actor's eyes, he's lying, but we can see that he's lying. To me, he looked like he was truly telling the truth. So I didn't see that little double thing there. And I was looking for stuff like that very much the second time. And why didn't she shoot him in the bed or even in the restaurant or wherever? So it was a lot of fun, Mark, rewatching it, especially that last second half. So I really enjoyed it, but I'm going to give it 3.75 stars. It's to me a 4-star movie. Is like, I'm just going to put this movie on, even though I did watch it again today. I'm really excited to watch it again.
You did watch it again.
I know.
Wow.
Is that it?
That scene, yeah.
Yeah. So
You know.
a fun movie all around. We definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
The Sting is on Netflix, is it?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
I own it.
If
so I
you
don't know.
subscribe to that streaming service, you could rent it from Prime, obviously, or go to the library. I love that. Next week, we're back to the Coen brothers. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou from 2000. It's also not on any streaming services, but I think eventually we're going to get to all the Coen brothers movies.
Well, just
Let it
slowly
burn
add one a year, you know.
One a year. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Next year,
do
definitely.
Quentin's one a year.
Yeah, I'll throw in Barton Fink next year just to piss everybody off.
Yeah, that's a pretty. I'll give you my review right now. That was a Fox movie. I was at Fox, and that was a Fox movie.
Yep. Wasn't
And
No
it was
Brother
like-
as well? Or was it just
No.
Barton Fink?
Barton
Fink.
Fink, Miller's
Church
Crossing.
Fink.
Miller's
Fox,
Crossing.
those were
Yeah.
Fox films.
Miller's Crossing is really great and underrated, but
Yeah.
Barton Fink for me was like it was like somebody's college film project. It was like torturous. All right, I am Frank Gaffney. Watch this movie.
And also with you, but not number 2.